man, those things are fucked up. The Street Fighter League teams are crazy. We had a long discussion on our podcast why the SFL Japan League and the US SFL is really badly done because they are going to compete at the end of the year. So here's what happened. SFL was the Rage League in Japan a while back. You guys might have watched it, maybe didn't. It was very good. So that happened. Then after that, there is the Street Fighter League US that happened, which had their finals back at CEO, right? That was really cool to watch. Now there's a second season of Japanese Street Fighter League, a second season of US Street Fighter League, and there's the announcement that at the end of the year, they are going to compete in a $90,000 match. Two Japanese teams, the top two Japanese teams from SFL, top two US teams from SFL. Boom. Problem is the way the two leagues form teams means that the Japanese league and the US league should not compete against each other. Not that the US teams are weak or they don't have a chance or something, but the way the teams are constructed for both leagues are so drastically different that trying to put them in a serious competition is so weird. The US team was assembled like this. There were 6 players that came in based on CPT rankings for North America, right? Then 6 players that play in via online qualifiers that make it in on online events. Then 6 players who are made by vote-in from the community, or popular vote is how they get in. And the teams are constructed in that way. Your team can't be 3 people who are top-level CPT players on one team. The teams are supposed to be balanced in a way that not one team is extra powerful and not one team is like super strong. It's supposed to work out that you have a super top-level player, an online qualifier player who's like, you know, they made it in. They're not quite at the level as the top people, but they're pretty good. And then a voted-in personality who is not quite as strong. And then there's these 3 people put together in a team. It's like a reality show / personality thing. It's like a weird mix of, you know, it's American stuff, right? That's what it is. The Japanese construction on the other side is like the fucking Terminator. It's like a machine built to destroy all Street Fighter players on the planet and be the absolute best. They got 6 people who are fucking the top level Jesu license holders. Might sound familiar. Momochi's not in the Street Fighter League. Then there's fucking 6 other players who are also top level Jesu license holders who are not the captains. Then they have play-ins for the rest of the spot. They create a draft pool for everything else. And there's 3 roads to play in via this Japanese Street Fighter League. And all of them are play-in roads, just like I'm not playing around when I say I'm a railgun. It's very nice for dropping the Twitch Prime. So the way the play-ins work is there's a college league. So you can play in the college league in 3v3. There's an arcade league, which is a 3v3 play-in league. Then there's the rookie caravan, which is like where they travel around Japan and then people can play in there. But every single qualifier is a play-in. There's no vote-ins there. They're all play-in qualifiers. And even stuff like, you would think the college league, you'd be like, well, the college league is just younger players. They're not so good. Did you guys watch TGS this weekend? You know Shudo? Shudo was in the first Street Fighter League. He got 2nd place. He was on Nemo's team, right? And he was in top 8 of TGS. He is in the college league and is now in Street Fighter League again. Every single player that played in on the Japanese league is like ultra grandmaster, warlord ranked players. They're incredibly ridiculous. There's like Haku, the Fong player. You're like, who the fuck's Haku? I've never heard of him. He's on this team. He's probably sucked. Yeah, well, his team in the arcade league won because they OCV'd Fujimura, Machabo, and Johnny, the Karen player. So you have the Street Fighter League in the US, which is like, okay, well, let's have a vote-in personality, which is cool, right? It's like awesome. Let's have a somebody playing online, and then we'll have 6 like top-ranked captains. We'll have a dandy old time. Then there's a Japanese league built to destroy anything that moves. And then you have them compete at the end of the year. Now, I think in isolation, the 2 leagues are fine. And in fact, I think the Street Fighter League in the US has very good teams still, and they have very good players. But just if you're going to have a competition between the 2 leagues, shouldn't they have a similar way that the teams are built and constructed? And like a similar mindset and the competitiveness of the teams? For $90,000 at the end of the year. $90,000. These 2 leagues should construct teams in similar formats so that at the end of the year, it feels like a unification match instead. And that's not saying that a U.S. team couldn't beat a Japanese team. In fact, I think it's not that unlikely. I think the U.S. teams, there's a couple of teams that are very good, but the teams for the Japanese league are they're unbelievably powerful. I hope next year it's fucking a cat juggling on a unicycle, fucking a houseplant and Punk versus Bon-chan, Tokido, and Mago for $250 million. I like the cat. They better not ban his characters. Dude, I think the way you should do it is very simple. Just have the 2 teams form powerful teams. I think Street Fighter League, they keep fucking around and try to make it this weird, like, oh, let's vote in people. I mean, that's cool. I like the vote in. But, like, if you're going to have it be a super serious competitive thing, then have it be a super serious competitive thing. If you're going to have it be a vote in, celebrity, big chillin', like, cool event like that, I think that's great too. As great as Momo Choco getting the gifted sub. Thanks very much. I think that's cool too. But you should make your mind. Street Fighter League is currently stuck between two mindsets, and you should pick one. You should either let the game be very serious and competitive and pick the best players you can to try to win, or you should fully embrace showing off personality and making it like a reality show, which is essentially what they're doing, and, you know, making it kind of like fun and lighthearted and show off the personalities of the player. That's great too, but you should pick one. They're stuck between the two. They have this super serious studio environment where the competition has bans and it's not that super serious. You got to commit. Yeah, Obama, I think you're kind of right, but I think they should have had play-ins or qualifiers separately, fully, the whole time instead of doing a vote-in as well. Because it changes the feeling of how it works, right? A vote-in is like, I could have fucking run in the vote-in and made it into the tournament thing maybe, and like, I don't have any business playing up against Tokido and Bonchen and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. If I would, imagine if you entered SFL, you did it as a vote-in, you're like, this will be tight, right? And then at the end, they're like, okay, so at the end of the year, you're going to have to play in a $90,000 tournament against Japan. And you're like, huh? Excuse me? I have to do what now? I forgot to talk about this. I have to say, did you guys watch Thunderstruck this weekend for Dragon Ball? Kuba made top 3. Wednesday Night Fights, his own Kuba made top 3. And there was a picture of him on the stage celebrating his win. So congrats to Kuba for making top 3 in the tournament. I appreciate you, just like I appreciate this lovely donator who dropped the 5 smackaroos. Thanks very much. Jesse. Ugh. I mean, to be honest, he showed up, and I like the headband. I like the way he was playing. The beard, he was looking good. So congrats to Kuba for making top 3 in the tournament. Jessu's on stream fucking bribing me and shit. What am I supposed to do? Hold up. Send me a license. You got, hey, Jessu, if you got that 45 grand that Momochi left lying around, you slide that through, I'll take a license. Let's go. I'll send it right to Momochi. I'll drop a $45,000 donation on his stream, and then they'll revoke my license. But